Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, especially gentlemen, because ladies are not that interested in the PC hardware. Aside playing FIFA, doing some kind of stand-up and other things I'm interested in, I am also interested in PC building, optimizing builds on Reddit and stuff like that. Today I will show you the build I made for about 6 months ago or something like that. At the time it has costed me 850 pounds. Now I have checked the prices, it's even lower. So let's start with the CPU. So you will see what I have chosen for that build, and we will try to improve it for the same budget, for 800 pounds. So I went with Ryzen 5 6000 non-X. At the time, non-X version was a bit less than X version, yet it costed more than 108 pounds, so I went with this CPU because it's easy to undervolt and to overclock it. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it, yet I went a bit overkill with this build because I have chosen a really good CPU cooler for overclocking the CPU. I went with Arctic 34 Sports Duo, exactly this CPU cooler with two P120 Bionics fans, which is keeping the CPU cool. Even though this CPU is pretty cool, I wanted to overclock it, to undervolt and overclock it, but I am unable to do it yet. So I went a bit overkill with the CPU cooler, yet I wanted to see how does it perform, how easy it's to install it on the motherboard. So to be honest, I really love the Arctic products, and for my own build I went with Arctic LF2 Liquid Freezer 2 240, which is cooling my i5 13600K CPU. This CPU would have been enough even for my CPU to cool it down, yet I wanted to see how does it perform. For the motherboard I went with MSI B550 Gaming Plus, exactly this one. It has good VRMs, it has coolers on the VRMs, 2 or 3 slots for NVMEs. The top NVMe slot has a radiator, so people doesn't have to spend money on it. It's a very good motherboard. It could handle even Ryzen 9 5900X. Yet it's a bit overkill, yet I went with MSI because I love MSI products over Gigabyte and Asus, because everybody saw what Asus does, well, especially when I have to RMA it. So I went with MSI because I also using MSI on my own build, which is Z790 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. So I went with this one. This one, as I said, can handle even Ryzen 9. For the memory, I wanted to go with the best possible, not with something like Corsair, Vengeance. I went with pretty good G-Skill, 32 gigabytes, 3600 megahertz. It's a dual stick RAM. It's exactly this set of Trident Z, 32 gigabytes of RAM, frequency 3600, CL18, perfect for this build. There are Corsairs and Kingstons, yet I know G-Skill does the thingy. Even though I have chosen a Kingston for my own build, it's a Fury Renegade, a Fury Renegade. I would have chosen Fury Renegade as well for this build, yet I went with G-Skill because I wanted to see how they perform and how they are working. So I went with G-Skill. For storage, I went with a very good NVMe SSD. People for some reason are usually choosing Crucial P3, Crucial P3 Plus, which is not bad, but not that good as SN770 from Western Digital. So VD Black SN770 for 1 terabyte, and it could be easily cooled down with the stock cooler from the motherboard. Easy to install, easy to cool. Do not forget to peel off the the film, like how I forgot to remove the to peel the film from the CPU cooler on my LF2, and when I started to stress it in Geekbench or whatever bench, it went straight away to 100 degrees and it was throttling until second day I didn't disassemble it and I found out that it was it had that film. So do not forget to peel off the film from the CPU cooler, either from the stock radiators on the motherboards to when installing on the top of the NVMe SSD. So I went with this one. Video card, I went with a pretty good one, I would say. It was 6600 from Sapphire. It's Sapphire Pulse Dual Fan GPU. It's a perfect GPU for 200 pounds. It does not consume a lot of energy. In idle, as I remember when I was checking in Adrenaline, it was 16 watts in idle. Yet I have undervolted and overclocked this GPU a little bit. The temperature went a bit up from 29 degrees to 31 degrees on hotspot and on the GPU itself. So it's not a bad GPU for this budget, I would say. For the case, I went with Thermaltake Series 300 TG RGB. I went exactly with this one, gray and white or black and white or black and gray, whatever, with 3 pre-installed fans, 140 on the front and 140 in the back, or 120 in the back, I forgot. The front ones has RGB, the one in the back does not have. It's a pretty huge case, to be honest, and it could fit even GPUs like XFX 6800. So RX 6800, which is a trio fan GPU, and it's quite massive. So I went with this Series 300 TG RGB. For the power supply, I went a bit overkill once again. I went with Seasonic Focus GX 750 watts, because at the time 650 watts and 850 watts were on the sale, and they were on the same price, 99 or 90 or 99 pounds, I forgot. Now as I see, it does cost 110. Even though we see the system might draw about 324 watts, I undervolted and overclocked the GPU. It might consume just a little bit more, maybe just a little bit more. So I went too overkill with this system, and now as we see it does cost 797. At the time, as I mentioned, it was costing 850 pounds, so somewhere I have lost 50 pounds. I guess it was the CPU which was costing a bit more. Probably the SSD was about 70 pounds, something like that. Probably the case was a bit more, I forgot, so I have lost about 50 pounds just by now. I wish I could go back in time and not do this, yet I was bored and I have decided to spend this money just to do something that I really like and I really wanted to do. Now this the whole PC just collects dust, even though if sometimes I'm firing it up just to update the drivers and to test some more thingies, to update the Windows, and that's it, and I'm putting in the back, checking the cable management and stuff. Just so for 800 pounds we might improve this system and to have a bit more powerful system. So the first thing that I will do is that I will go with another CPU. Let's see how much does cost. So it's about 40 pounds more, 5600X and 190 for 5700X 3D. It's a bit too much, so I will go with 5600X and we will push it a bit further. I would have chosen another CPU cooler as well from the Arctic One Love Arctic coolers. I don't know why people are buying ID coolings. Okay, Thermalright are good CPU coolers, but they're doing too many things. But Arctic does focus only on cooling, and their MX4, MX6 thermal paste is just top notch. Okay, there is as well Noctua, but Noctua just costs too much. So I will go with Arctic 36. Wait, 36. I will go with the simple one for 22 pounds. Even though there is CO, we might go with CO. It doesn't matter that much, but CO is just for continuous working, something like that, as they specified. 2 extra pounds does the job. Though I would have swapped the stock fans maybe to P12 Max, which has max of 3000 of RPMs. Yet I will choose Arctic Freezer 36 CO over simple. We are gonna leave the same RAM because it's a perfect RAM from G-Skill, so I wouldn't change anything. Maybe there is a RAM with CL17, which is more for overclocking for stuff. I would have chosen another GPU for 20 pounds. For 20 pounds, you might get another one. It's 6650 XT from eBuyer for 220. It's a 3-fan GPU, has a very good cooling. It's just one 8-pin connector. So it would fit in such cases. It's a perfect choice for 200 pounds budget for the GPU. Yet there is ARC A580 for 180 and A75, which is also a good GPU, as I saw the latest tests, and it does play the games and it's good for the video editing. I've got myself ARC A770 for 16GB VRAM, which I bought especially for the video editing. Yet I'm able to play my favorite games, which is Battlefield 1, it's CS2, it's FIFA 2024, 2022, and many more games. So I will choose XF RX 6650 XT. This GPU is equivalent to RTX 3060, but with less VRAM, with less 4 GB less VRAM. I would have chosen another case because I really wanted to see how does it look. So I wanted always to see how does look the NZXT H5 Flow case, which has 2 or 3 front fans, depends as many as you want. I don't know how many pre-installed fans it does have. As I know, it has a little fan from underneath of the GPU, which blows straight away to the GPU and it's cooling the GPU. So I wanted really to try this NZXT H5 Flow case, even though you might need to buy extra fans, but it doesn't cost too much to buy the extra fans. As we see, I went overkill with the PSU, 750 watts, though it's a gold certified fully modular from Seasonic. It's a very good GPU. At the time it has costed £99. Now it does, as I see, it does cost 110. I would downgrade to 650 watts, so we have some headroom in case we'll swap the GPU to another one, so it might be enough. So I will go with 650 watts. From the power supply, I really love only 2 brands which are making them. It's the Be Quiet and Seasonic. Seasonic are also making for Asus, which is Asus Thor, a Loki, whatever. So those PSUs are being made by Seasonic. So Seasonic does the thingy. So I have chosen this one. But for this build, I would choose a lower wattage PSU from Be Quiet, 650, which is I wouldn't choose MAG from MSI unless it's MPG with their 105 degrees Japanese capacitors. Yet it does the job. My housemate has ordered exactly like this one for 850 watts, and he has paired Ryzen 5 7600X with RX 7800 XT from PowerCore, and it does the job pretty perfect. Yet I would go with Be Quiet Pure Power 12M for 650 watts. It costs a bit less, but you pay for good components. Otherwise I would have left the same Seasonic, because when I bought it, it was costing about the same, 96-99 pounds. So I will be going with Be Quiet Pure Power 12. So as we see now, we got 779. So we could add 20 pounds more to improve this build. So what I would do in this case is maybe would be the NVMe SSD. We might choose something else. Let's see what we got. with DRAM and higher speeds, I would go maybe with Western Digital Black SN 850X or Solidigm, I don't know, Solidigm, whatever it's called, P44 Pro, which is the same as the SK Hynix P41 Platinum. Is the one I went. Actually, I went with the both. I went with Solidigm P44 Pro for my C disk, I mean Windows. I have chosen for 500 gigabytes, 520 gigabytes for my Windows and software, and I went with SK Hynix P41 Platinum 1 terabyte as my storage for the games and other stuff. I thought I would be using this that SK Hynix to use as a storage for my videos, and yet I'm working from external HDD, which is working perfectly fine. So for 2 terabytes, and I'm recording directly on the external HDD. I would go maybe with Solidigm P44 Pro, either, let's see, SK Hynix P41 Platinum, which is 104. Let's see, during the sales, when I bought my SK Hynix Platinum P41 Platinum during the Prime Day last year, I have paid £63 for this NVMe. So for 7 gigabytes read and 7 gigabytes write sequential command, it was a pretty good price, let's say. Yet I would go with I would go with Solidigm P44 Pro for 1 terabyte for £90, and it will add up just £6 on the top. Either we could choose Western Digital Black SN 850X. Let's see how much would it cost. £87, just £2 less. Yet I would go with Solidigm P44 Pro, because you could download their software Solidigm Synergy, and it will boost the sequential read and write, I don't know by how much, but it's a very good NVMe. If during the sales it will cost less than 70, for about 60, it's a perfect choice for 1 terabyte. Yet it will need a separate cooler. This is what I have done. I have chosen 2 Lexar's LPAH100 SSD coolers, but now, as I see, Arctic has made as well SSD cooler, but it's too sharp. It's M2 Pro for £5 on Amazon, or you could buy Be Quiet MC2 and MC2 Pro for £15 maximum. So for this £800 budget build, it will be perfectly 1080p on Ultra. The next video I will be doing, it will be already from the Reddit. I'm already helping people to optimize and to choose better components for their first builds, or especially for their budgets. But if I if I could turn the time back, I would have made exactly this build. So see you next time building a PC for some users on the Reddit. see you on the next video. It's not necessary to subscribe, I just really love doing that without any kind of stuff, so people know what components are good, what components are not good. So one thing I would say is just, maybe I don't like it personally, but I would say avoid Gigabyte and their components, motherboards, GPUs, because maybe their Aorus Master or whatever are good, but to be honest I do not trust them. So let's see you the next video when I will make a build for a user from the Reddit. Thank you and have a good night.